Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we will present our Rondaan Security mobile application. I am SOFIA binti ZAINUDIN and my friend AISYAH binti ZULKIFLI and SITI NURSHAWATI binti YAACOB. For our introduction, one of the main disadvantages of traditional guard patrolling system is that it is vulnerable to many exploits. For instance, someone with malicious intent would be able to easily know when and where the security guards are by observing their patrolling routes. With Rondaan Security mobile application feature, you can have more checkpoints and schedules with different Ronda routes, making guard patrolling less predictable and increasing the neighborhood's security. For our problem statement, we have three problem statements, which is lacks of resident safety, increased crime rates in residential areas, and difficult to detect any emergencies in the residence. For our goals is to provide a safe residence environment, deters vandalism, theft, and trespasses, detect emergencies and fires. Next, software development life cycle, SDLC. For our planning, in the planning phase, we evaluate the terms of the project. This includes calculating labor and material costs, creating a timetable with target goals, and creating the project's teams and leadership structure. Planning also includes feedback from our lecturer, Sir AMZARI bin Abu Bakar. For different requirements, is considered part of planning to determine what the application is supposed to do and its requirements. For example, a sign up and login button would require the ability to connect with Google account. An inventory program might require a search feature. Requirements also include defining the resources needed to build the project. For example, a team might develop software to control a custom manufacturing machine. The machine is a requirement in the process. Next is design and prototyping. For our user interface, we define the ways customers interact with the software and how the software responds to input. And for our platforms, we define the platforms on which the software will run. And for this Rondaan Security, we can only prefer for Android user as the application is still on development. And our security defines the measures taken to secure the application and may include SSL traffic encryption, password protection, and secure storage of user credentials using Firebase that link with login button. Next, software development. We appreciate instructions and explanations. Our documentation be a formal process, including wiring a user guide for the application in the homepage. It can also be informal, like comments in the source code that explain why a developer used a certain procedure, such as volunteer section. Our documentation have been a quick guided tour of the application's basic features that display on the first launch. FAQs helps users solve problems or technical questions. Next is testing. It is critical for us to test Rondaan Security application before making it available to users. Much of the testing have been automated, like security testing. Other testing be done in a specific environment using smartphone. Our testing ensure that each function works correctly, such as performance tests to reduce any hangs or lags in processing. The testing phase helps reduce the number of bugs and glitches that users encounter. This helps us lead to a higher user satisfaction and a better usage rate in the future. Next is deployment. In the deployment phase, the application is made available to Android users. It could also be downloading an application on smartphone. Deployment have been a complex due to upgrading Rondaan security database to a newly developed application. There are several other systems used by the database. Integrating the upgrade can take more time and effort. And lastly is operations and maintenance. At this point, the development cycle is almost finished. The Rondaan security application is done and being used in the field. The operation and maintenance space is still important. In this space, we discover bugs that were not found during testing, such as sign up and login problems. These errors need to be resolved, which can spawn new development cycles. Next, I will pass to the next presenter, SITI NURSHAWATI.
Thank you, Anis. Next, I will present about PHP. So this is PHP MyAdmin. So I create a few tables which are emergency, country user, login, and report. So next, I will explain about the emergency structure. So for emergency, we have emergency ID, emergency name, emergency address, and also emergency time. Next, for entry user, for the structure, we have entry user ID, alert notification, and user ID. Next, login. For login, we have user ID, username, user email, user password, and user address. And lastly, for report. For report, we have report ID, emergency ID, and emergency address. Next, for the design. So this is our table structure. Okay, that's all. Next, I will pass to AISYAH.
Thank you, Ms. Shawati. Next, I will explain about Cordula. This is screen 1. And this is block for our screen. Next is main menu screen that I provide homepage button, mission and vision button, officer list button, time patrol security button, help center and emergency button, volunteer search button, danger complaint, and logout. And this is the block. Next is homepage screen. And in homepage screen, this doesn't have block. Same goes to mission and vision. It don't have block. And this is the design of the mission and vision screen. Next is officer list. We've provided the officer list at the screen, and also it doesn't have block because we provide name and the number. Next is our time patrol security, which is these apps are working 24 hours in application. And also it doesn't have any blocks. But when help center and emergency, it has one function button, which is help center and emergency. When user click the button, it will goes to our personal WhatsApp. And for volunteer search, also we provide one button only, and the block is the same. For danger complaint, we put the information in the danger screen, danger complaint and incident screen, and we provide some example incident, and it also doesn't have block. That's all from me. I will pass to Ms. Sophia Anis.
Thank you, Ms. Aisyah. So we have now reached to our conclusions. Rondaan Security is a periodic patrolling service. The patrolling activities always monitored daily with the use of reliable equipment and facilities such as GPS and real-time patrolling guard data. It can help to reduce the criminal rate of the neighborhood because it can also prevent vandalism, theft, and trespasses. Moreover, it helps to provide immediately response to emergency situations if there is any emergency, such as fires was detected. With the emergency situations detected by mobile Mobile Security Patrol Team, Emergency Response Team ERT will immediately attend and coordinate such emergency measures. If a robbery happens, ERT are dispatched to the location as an added reinforcement. That's all from us. Thank you, AMZARI, for having us today. Assalamualaikum.